About the first hour of radio here, talking about their mini bikes and saying, holy shit, same stories here. This guy, Luke, using force on Twitter.
Oh.
I remember falling out of many trees. It's amazing how far you could fall without breaking a leg as a kid.
Yeah, we didn't even touch on tree climbing, which was a huge thing growing up.
Behind our house, we had a lot of trees, and we started getting more and more brave.
Yeah, that's what happens. You get a little daring. You start going out on the branches.
Well, the pine trees were easy because you were in the middle of it, really.
Yeah,
Nothing could really happen to you. The branches were so tight, you kind of had to squeeze through to keep climbing up.
But the worst nightmare about that, you know how I hate sticky. And the sap
would
that would be on your hands, and it would hit inside a crease on your hands. So when you bent your hand and then opened it up, you'd feel that like stick. I can't deal with that. Inside the elbow, like in the crease of the fold of the elbow, if something's sticky in there, I will go batshit it's a fucking Chinese water torture.
And I got to bring it up again. I don't remember our parents really taking care of us. You would leave the house, you'd come home with all sorts of injuries and you would just try to figure it out on your own. I know Brian Regan does a bit about the dirt thing.
Put some leaves
and dirt on it, whatever. But remember, you would put leaves and dirt on fucking cuts and stuff just to, I don't know, sop up the blood. And
get some leaves for the blood.
Remember, you would just get poison ivy. You never really went to your parents with that shit.
No. That was nothing.
You would get horrible sunburn. You'd get fucking nails through your feet.
Yeah. Stepping on a nail was one of like the most horrible things that can happen. It's like a landmine for a kid. You heard stories about it. And then the dreaded tetanus shot that you would have to get.
Right.
Or else you'd get lockjaw.
Yeah.
And you just imagined like everybody just had this image. Your dumb kid mind would have all this shit.
Right. Lockjaw.
Yeah.
Do you remember getting your supplies? I know we've talked about the fucking forts ad nauseum on the show.
Forts,
But do you remember, like, you had to fucking get your own supplies, and you would hammer out nails of old projects or wood you found around, and then you would bang the nails to get them straight.
A bent nail just as good.
So you could reuse them.
Making a tree fort.
And every once in a while you would come across gold, meaning you'd be in the woods or something, and there's a pile of lumber. Like, what the fuck?
Or a box of nails. You're like, fuck yeah, this is great.
Well, we would go to the new developments that were popping up all over Long Island, and there was always something laying around that you felt like you could take.
How we were able to climb trees holding lumber and then nail them up into the tree to start your base of a tree fort. Just a pretty with no engineering whatsoever. You kind of knew what had to be done to build the base of the tree fort.
And your parents never helped you out with any of this.
No, you kind of just
completely
learned
separate. Parents did their thing, kids did theirs.
Yeah.
They didn't really hang out together, kind of on the weekends a little bit, maybe.
Yeah.
At the beach or at the local pool or whatever the fuck.
It's fucking great. I remember that shit. Yeah.
But
it's all different.
Yeah, getting the nails in the wood and a
nice big piece of plywood for a floor of a tree fort was like gold.
Remember using rotting wood?
Oh yeah.
Going, I think it'll be all right.
It should be all right. We'll just put more nails in it. Just use more nails. Or you'd have like nails that weren't quite long enough to go through the 2x4 into the tree.
Right.
But you're just like, just use more.
Well, what else are we gonna do? We didn't find long nails yet.
And you trusted that these things, you'd have 5 of your friends in a tree fort, and you trusted that the beams that you put in to hold the floor up were going to stay in this tree.
No building codes.
No. How many tree forts have just collapsed out of a tree, killing all involved?
I'm sure the local authorities now just kind of
go
through the neighborhoods and like,
rip it down.
You have a permit for that?
A permit.
Breaking some building codes.
Yeah.
Yeah, we would just hope for the best.
Yeah.
We were stupid, though. We built our tree fort way too high. And another thing I remember, being a pussy up there, I was like, this is too high.
Wow, that just spurred a fucking memory.
And then we'd have stairs to a second level, like kind of on the roof.
Wow, that's a pretty good one.
But there was no walls.
No, you got to have...
no exaggeration. I think our tree fort was at least 20 feet in the air.
And 20 feet as a kid, it might as well be the top of a building.
Why now. Because how the trees were set... Like, they were too wide at the bottom, and when they finally kind of came together where we could finally get, like, a 2x4 in, that's where we started.
You did need the 2
Holy
trees
fuck, I haven't thought
or
about
3
this in
trees
years.
next to each other to span with the floor beams.
We had 3 trees. It was complicated.
Yeah, the 3 tree was the best.
No, it wasn't. That was complicated. You needed the fourth tree, made it easier.
As far as, 4 trees would be even better.
But we had the 3 tree thing. We had to engineer that shit.
We did a 2 tree.
No.
Yeah.
That's impossible.
You have to put the beam across like a cross.
Right.
And then have like a triangular little braces on the bottom.
You knew how to do braces back then?
Oh, yeah.
We didn't know braces.
Oh, you had to do the brace or else it would just teeter-totter right off of them.
We had no idea how to do braces.
It was frightening.
It was.
Yeah. 2 tree crossbeam. Yes, see? Other people remember that one. God, that was fucking creepy, though. I remember going to somebody else's tree fort. It was always weird going to another person's tree fort. It's like you're visiting.
Yeah.
Hey, come to my tree fort.
You're visiting someone else's home. It was always like kind of cool but weird.
It's different than yours, so it was weird and felt weird, like you were on somebody else's turf.
But then you'd come back to your boys and your tree fort with some knowledge,
some new ideas.
You know, how's that Johnny's tree fort there?
Yeah, let me tell you,
he got windows. Windows.
How
do you fucking make windows?
Well, here's what he did. I fucking figured this one out.
I remember the first underground. I'll call it.
Those
a tree fort.
Are creepy though, because you could
underground
cave
fort. In. Nah, it was just paneling.
What do you mean?
Just paneling. It was a big hole with paneling as the roof.
Yeah, it could cave in, though.
Yeah, what would happen?
The walls would fall in on you.
Nothing would really happen.
I think you'd suffocate. I think.
I remember it would just be a tiny little opening, but we couldn't figure out lights. So now you're just in the dark.
Just use some fat lamps.
Yeah. And then I think what we did was we had to move the plywood to get enough light in there.
Oh, yeah, but that takes away from the illusion.
Now you're not in an underground fort anymore. Now you're just in a fucking hole.
You couldn't find some kind of fucking flashlights?
No.
Very hard to scrounge up things as a kid.
Were you a hole digger?
No, it wasn't big.
We obsessively dug holes.
Digging holes?
And it was never deep enough.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
See, that shit gets dangerous.
Of course. Well, that's mostly at the beach house. When I was growing up, my grandma's beach house, we would build, I don't know. It was definitely...
In the sand? Because that's
way over our heads.
That's the most dangerous.
Way over our heads.
Wow.
I know.
Kids get killed like that all the time.
And it starts out as a nice wide hole, but, it gets very narrow because you can't take out all that sand.
Oh, man. It starts collapsing on itself.
Yeah, it was a little creepy, to be honest with you, but we did it.
Oh, boy.
We like to dig in very, very deep holes.
Oh, boy. Yeah,
well, some kid talk about tree forts.
Some kid had a tree fort that was so fucking high up. And I remember my brother went up, and then I was like, yeah, come on up. And it was one of those, they had to get up it because they took a bunch of 2x4s that were about 2 feet wide and nailed them to the tree as like a ladder.
Right.
And there was so many of these things.
Right.
And I just remember I kept climbing and climbing. I'm looking down, just going, I was petrified.
I remember those 2x4s, whatever, they weren't...
no, they'd rock.
They'd move to the right or the left, so you had to figure out how to do that with your feet.
Oh,
to stabilize it.
Yeah.
And then we found those big spikes. I don't even know what they're called. They might even be like railroad spikes.
Yeah.
And we got like the neighbor who's older than us. He was about 6 years older to hammer those into our tree. So now we could go up like it's a telephone pole
with like big masonry nails or something. They
were massive. They weren't going to move.
Yeah.
And that was a good day. We knew we didn't have to worry about the wobbly wood anymore.
Mm-hmm.
For our stairs or our ladder, our makeshift ladder. Let's say hi to Liam in Atlanta. Liam.
Yeah.
What's up, buddy?
Listen, I want to tell him about the 69 or 70. I found my neighbor in the freezer. His daddy had put him in the freezer, and I was over there trying to get nails and boards like he was underneath this old wooden shed. And to make a real long story short, make a real long story short.
We're telling innocent childhood fucking stories.
You found a kid in a freezer?
You found somebody in a freezer?
Jesus Christ.
The fuck? This is taking a turn. We're talking about innocence, sir.
My goodness. What happened? Liam?
Hey, there you are. Listen.
Was the guy dead?
Hey, listen, this is what happened. When I found the nails and whatnot, I had told my father about what I had found David over there in the little freezer over there. And once the law and everything showed up, I thought I was in a world of shit trouble for taking the nails to a tree fort. But they talking about that just reminded me of that. So I don't know what all happened in the
Wait. Hold on. Was the kid dead, yeah?
Yes, the kid was dead. You got to remember, this was like 69 or 70.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, dead kids all over the place. I forgot.
How many dead kids do you remember?
I forgot. You're right.
I remember so many dead kids in freezers.
Liam, thanks. You sparked a memory.
What a great memory.
God, that's right.
Yes.
They'd be dead in the woods.
Sure.
They would be at the bottom of pools. I forgot. It was the 70s. Or what?
It's the 70s.
60s? What did he say?
It was a different time.
Holy, did you just actually say that? You got to. What did he say exactly?
It was the 70s, the 60s, late 60s, 70s.
Go ahead, Liam. Explain yourself.
Anyway, no, I go over there to find the nails, find the boards and whatnot, because he had all this shit laying around. Ended up finding that and told my father when the cops showed up and everything. I thought I was in a shit.
Right, he thought he was in trouble. Right.
No, I thought, yes, exactly.
You probably put him in the freezer.
But no one's in trouble because it's the late 60s.
That's all right.
Who got in trouble for a dead kid back then?
You allowed a few kids in the freezer.
Exactly.
I was a little kid, okay? I didn't realize the implications of all that.
Implications?
Whatever. He's a truck driver.
This guy?
I guarantee it.
Jesus Christ.
Sorry to the truck drivers.
Yeah, but we all know.
Yeah, well, anyway, that's the story that brought back.
End of story.
No, it ain't. I think it started me.
Right, you.
But you're right. It's late 60s, dead kids,
Right.
no big deal.
You guys are fucking with me. But anyway, yeah, that's what I
What do you do for a living, Liam?
You know what I do for a living. You already named it.
Oh,
He's
sorry.
a trucker.
Of course.
I'm a long-haul trucker.
I'm going to tell you what.
And I kill people across America.
Because he saw that. Now he's just a serial killer.
I got to take care of all the kids.
Yes.
They got to be in their proper place.
Yeah.
They need to be cold.
Keep fucking with me.
Yeah.
I'm punching out now. I'm just going to listen. Y'all have a good
Fuck that.
Y'all have a good time.
First time I saw a dead body was when my dad died. That was
man.
it. First and only. Wait.
Wow.
First and only. Let me think. Yeah. Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
You never saw a dead person, did you?
Oh,
no, I've seen many now because of
outside of.
I saw people in wakes and stuff.
I'm trying to think of outside of a wake. You ever see one just laying on the fucking ground?
Hell no.
Something like that.
Hell no.
Hell nah.
That guy did. No big deal.
In a freezer.
That's fucked up.
That's pretty horrific.
Yeah, I think that would fuck up my entire life seeing that.
That's one of those
defining
moments.
Fuck
That's a fork in the road there.
Fuck that.
That's the alternate timeline.
Yeah. Matt in Florida.
What's up, guys? Hey, you guys are missing the whole thing. Back in the day when you were doing the tree forts, did you guys ever work on doing the defense of the tree forts? We spent months and months building these tree forts in the woods down here in Florida, and we'd have these amazing structures built, and these kid bullies in the neighborhood would just come around and would just show up, and they're like, this is our fort now.
Oh yeah, you did have to defend it.
Absolutely had to
It
defend
was like
your
a
shit.
castle. Yeah. You brought rocks up into it as your ammunition.
Yep.
Yeah.
Very good.
Pine cones, and then once we got to the point where
Pine cones were a great weapon.
oh my god! And then we'd move on to the BB guns, and we'd have these little daisy little puny ones, and we'd end up start popping each other with BB guns, trying to get them out of our fort. Man, it was the time of our lives. It was amazing.
Time of our lives.
Yeah, you know.
All
What are you gonna
right,
do?
Wonder Years.
Thank you, sir. And you know what? The great Guidini on Twitter. Fucking A, yes. Fucking igloos. That's all he wrote. We've never talked about igloos on the show.
Yeah, used to make those.
We used to live on 25A, so the plows would come through and pile up the shit right near our mailbox, which made it a little scary because our igloo was literally feet from a highway. Well, 25A, it's a lot. It's not a highway, but a lot of traffic.
That's dangerous.
Two-lane road that gets a lot of traffic. And we would fucking dig into that because it would that snow would be packed and tight and just hard, man.
Yeah, you'd dig in like a little tunnel, and then you'd start opening it up inside the.
When you first started opening it up, it would be scary as shit. But then when you could kind of see the sunlight coming through the top,
it was getting thin.
Thin enough where if the thing collapsed, you'd be totally fine.
Yeah, my dad made a good one for me, and then stupid neighbor sat on the front of it and caved it in. I was all mad.
Fuck. What'd you do to that kid?
Nothing. I just ran off crying. My igloo was broken. Dad called me a faggot. That's pretty much the end of every story I have as a kid. I ran off crying. Dad called me a faggot.
Let's go to Chris in Iowa. Chris.
Jesus Christ.
Hey. Yeah, my dad used to work for the school system, so he used to move snow, and so he'd come with the plow and make a huge mountain. Then we'd dig out the tunnels and then the big room. Then we'd take the hose from the basement and spray water inside so it'd freeze.
Oh.
So it'd be like the perfect igloo.
Wow, you were smart.
Wow, you really went all out, as they
I'm
say.
jealous. I don't think we ever figured that one out.
No.
Until one of the bitchy girls in the neighborhood decided to start a fire one time inside the igloo, and that didn't last.
And she
very long,
died.
so.
She died, and they put her in a freezer.
Yeah.
Was the 70s.
Well, no, we just left her out. Yeah, it was the 70s, dude. We just left her there until about April. Then we could get her out.
We talk about it again, and in the winter, you'd just come home with frostbite. You wouldn't go to your parents. You'd go up to a bathroom and try to fucking warm up your own limbs.
Remember putting the warm water over your hands when they were just frozen, and then it would hurt?
Oh, it hurt
Get
like
this
a motherfucker.
intense pain.
I don't know why we never went to our parents to try to figure half this shit out.
They were busy fucking drinking or yelling or something. They were like, you didn't want to deal with your parents. They were like the boss.
Yeah.
You only for the most important things.
Right.
You got to figure out yourself.
Yeah, a lot of figuring out yourself.
Yeah.
We were also always trying to build an ice rink.
Really?
Yeah, we were always into hockey.
The Gretzky family?
Well,
the ice rink in the backyard.
But we couldn't figure it out. We couldn't design it properly.
Yeah.
We always would use boards, but the water would come through the...
Don't you need a liner or something in there?
We never were able to build the ultimate ice rink. That's when we used to have winter in New York.
Yeah.
Where it was cold enough where you could fucking do some ice shit, too.
Yep.
First girl he fingered was in a tree fort.
Aw.
See, to us, the tree fort was always just innocent. I don't think we ever had broads up
No,
there.
fingering, that's something that my tree fort innocence went away with Richard. That was the last tree fort I ever constructed.
And the last tree fort you ever were in?
That is literally, you're right, the last tree fort I ever went in.
He fucking
Was
ruined that.
He ruined tree forts for me.
That's like finding the dead kid in the freezer.
Right.
No more tree forts for me.
No more tree forts.
Fuck that.
When your best friend offers to suck your cock in a tree fort, your tree fort days are over.
This guy's messed up for not freaking out about a dead kid in the freezer. Yeah. Pirate truckers all freaked out in Wisconsin. Pirate.
I cannot believe that what kind of upbringing did this guy have? That he goes over to the neighbors, looks in the freezer, and, oh, there's Billy. Oh, birds on the wall. That's what I was looking for. And then goes home.
Yeah, he goes home and is worried he's going to get in trouble for stealing nails, and he saw a dead kid in a freezer. You're right.
Yeah.
I'd be afraid that I'd get in trouble for throwing Billy in the freezer.
Well,
Right.
the parade of dead hookers on his route.
Oh, my God.
I'm sure.
What was in his basement that he's just like, oh, dead people, that's okay.
I would
I've been running from the house screaming.
I would be creeped out when we came across like a dead bird in the woods.
Yeah,
And this kid saw a dead kid in a freezer.
When I saw Smokey all covered in fucking maggots, my cat Smokey on the road, that freaked me out. I still think about that.
Yeah.
Oh, Smokey.
Poor Smokey.
Yeah.
Story
Dad
about
said Smokey ran away.
frostbite. We got tree fort with upside down garbage can with unique heating. Where they pile the garbage on the top to warm up the place.
What?
I don't know. Let's try this guy. Dennis in Westchester. I don't know what you want to say.
Oh, no, because she couldn't understand when I called in. You took an upside-down garbage can, and we had it notched, and we put wood inside of it underneath the tree fort, light a fire. We connected some kind of old duct through the middle of it to bring it up through the middle to give us heat when it was cold outside.
Are you guys crazy? Are you going to die of carbon monoxide poisoning?
Apparently, and then you were talking about lighting it before. We take 2 rusted nails against the wall and wedge a candle in between to light the candle. That was
Oh, right, okay, yeah.
Now that's
the dangerous candle holder in a wooden fucking dried wood tree fort.
Actually, my boy, the garbage can, but it heated.
No, he's talking about the underground shit. You put a candle in there.
Really?
That's kind of smart.
Thank
I like you. You heated your shit.
Yeah.
We weren't that involved.
Thank you, racist Francesa.
Not like
Is it
anything.
him, you think?
Sounds like
fire under your tree fort.
Okay.
Light a fire under your tree fort. That's brilliant.
Well, in the garbage can.
Yeah.
Well, of course.
All right, thanks, guys. Have a great.
Oops, sorry. Great Guidini, who I just read his tweets, and I asked to call. He's going for the double today. What do you got, buddy?
Yeah, when you got older, the igloo was a double thing. You could tell your parents you were building an igloo, but then you could go in there, and as long as you made the opening away from the door, go in there and smoke a little weed without your parents knowing.
Who's smoking weed? What's wrong with you? How old were you?
You turned your childhood innocence into a drug den.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
You fucking hippie.
It was fun.
No, it was all about just fun and games. Nothing crazy like fingering girls or fucking smoking your weed.
You were smoking pot at 13 and out in California.
Well,
yeah.
No, I was smoking when my brother got out there. It was a little later. I think like 15.
Yeah.
I stole his pot and got all fucked up.
There you go.
And then my whole school career went right down the shitter at that point.
I like how
I was actually doing pretty good, tell you the truth. I wasn't doing too shabby.
You didn't miss anything.
Till I started smoking pot.
You didn't miss anything.
No?
No.
What if I wanted to be like a fighter pilot? Kind of ruined that whole thing. I would have had to go to,
the academy.
Know some fucking math.
True.
Finish high school.
True.
And I couldn't be fucking Top Gun.
I wish
Sucked.
I wish I was more like you growing up. I would have said fuck school and smoked pot.
Yeah.
I was too paranoid.
But then what DJ would you have found that was doing a show?
I don't know.
Love of God.
I thought school was a waste of time. I got to shut my mouth. Obviously, if you listen to this show. Paul in Tennessee, what's up?
Hey there, Paul.
Hey, well, they like to say back in the day, in the 70s, I'm from Maine, and my brother and I used to walk to school, and literally it was 3.5 miles one way, and it's wintertime in Maine. It's like 15 degrees below zero. You get to school, you couldn't breathe because your lips are frozen over, your nostrils are frozen over. You couldn't move your hands because they were frozen. It was just, talk about frostbite. You just stood in front of the van at the first class, took the entire first class to get all that stuff off of you. It was just awful.
Wait.
They never cancel school. Never cancel school.
Oh, well, Maine, fuck.
Well, you just brought up a memory. When we were growing up, none of us had, winter boots, really. Did you have winter boots? We didn't really have
Sorry,
them.
yeah, I did.
Oh, it's me again.
I had those ones with the, like all the little clips running down the...
We were too poor.
We were poor.
So we would put the stupid bread bags. You don't know this one.
You had your bread bags over your...
You don't know this one?
Wow.
I know I'm not the only one.
Fucking Oliver Twist.
You would put I'm trying to remember. Yeah, you would put your socks on first. Then you would put the bread bags over your socks. Then get into your sneakers.
Wow.
Yep.
And that was supposed to keep your feet from getting wet.
And it would keep you a little warm, too, because the heat would kind of not escape as much.
Wow, that's fucking brutal.
I know I'm not the only one. And then he brought up a memory. I remember when we did have, cold toes or cold fingers, we would use the exhaust coming out of cars to warm up.
Nice.
Did you ever do that?
No.
And that's something I haven't thought of in years. If a car was, I don't know, obviously a car has to be running for whatever reason. Maybe you're at the stores, let's say.
Yeah.
And people running in, but their cars are running. I'm trying to remember exactly how this worked, but I remember doing it, and we put our frostbitten fingertips near the exhaust because that's blowing out some heat.
Yeah.
To get, a quick warm-up.
Be fucking out in that snow, and slowly it would go from your pinky toe would just disappear,
right,
and then it would just spread along the front of your foot. Man, you used to be outside until you're just freezing to death.
Yeah.
You were literally freezing to death before you came in the house. Right. What are you doing? Take your shit off by the door. Don't track snow in the house. Ugh. Right.
All right, my bread bag people are coming in. Cool.
Oh.
I'm not the only one, thank God. See? And I got to take one call for this, Ann. Sorry. Brian, Long Island, go ahead.
What's up? I grew up a poor white trash boy in Wantagh, and my mom not only made us wear bread bags, they were from the thrift bread store.
Not
Pepperidge
even good,
Farm.
Not even Wonder Bread?
No, it was some kind of no-name bread that was 5 days old, and we'd feed the bread to the ducks, and then we'd have to wear the bags on our feet.
You didn't do this ever?
No. I had like boots every winter. We'd go shopping for winter stuff for school stuff, and at the beginning of fall, we'd go and get everything we needed for winter. So it would be like the boots, the fucking your raincoat, the old one where every kid looked like the Gordons of Gloucester fishermen,
right?
Because that's the only raincoat they had was the yellow one.
Sure, we didn't have that either.
What?
No.
Would you have big plastic bags?
We had I remember we had coats that soaked up everything.
Yeah,
maybe because they were cheaper. But you know what I learned? That we weren't as poor as I portrayed.
No.
No, my mom had a money thing.
Oh, really?
So I think she could have afforded some of this shit that I talk about, but she was so crazy about money that we're going to run out of money.
Gee, thanks.
We're all going to be on the street. That she held back a lot of stuff.
I'd say, gee, thanks. Why did we have to suffer then?
we were definitely poor, but I think she could have afforded a lot of stuff. I've learned that over the years. She was hoarding money.
My mom was a hustler.
She was hoarding the little money we had, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Just really kept it tight and close to the vest.
I don't know how she fucking raised 3 kids. Always had, nice house in Huntington and shit like that. And then
what was that about?
Maybe she was hooking.
What was that about?
Maybe she was hooking or selling drugs. I have no idea.
How many Mets did she go out with? Don't bring that up again. Scariest day ever.
That was funny.
Yeah. Are we done with this?
Yeah, I guess
Set up ramps and driveway to see how many garbage cans they could jump.
Please.
Yeah, that never worked out.
We've done that.
Because your stupid ramp would turn into a seesaw if it wasn't built properly.
Done that one.
Ammo for tree forts, having a huge splinter in his foot. Old fridge box was the best for forts.
There was the basic, splinters were a great injury. That was a common kid injury. And then there was also, this was dreaded, your foot caught in the spokes of a bike.
Fuck yeah.
I remember seeing the result of that. There was a girl that was riding on the back of someone's bicycle, and that's when it would happen. And she was trying to keep her feet, she was barefoot, and try to keep her feet away from that, and they ended up going into the spokes and just tore her fucking foot apart. That was like common. Also, flying off the handlebars. When you'd have someone riding on the hand. Right. Why would you have someone riding on the thing that steers your fucking bicycle?
Seemed logical at the time.
I hated people on the front of the fucking bike like that. It's terrible.
Remember getting your pant leg stuck?
Pant leg stuck in the chain.
And that would stop your bike instantly?
Whip around, you almost breaking your fucking bone because the pedal would come up on the other side of your foot, on the back side of your calf.
How many times did you get your shin hit?
Ow! Ow!
Fuck. Stupid God.
Yeah.
Why didn't God give us a little meat?
Yeah.
Where the shin is.
Fucking.
That was the worst. All right. We should break, get Rich Voss in here. But, I mean, the phones are lit with this topic.
People love this shit because it conjures up the old memories, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
a time of innocence. Hookers and truckers and bodies across the country. What does this guy want? Bam Bam, Virginia. What's up, buddy?
Morning, boys.
You got hookers in the truck?
Well, no, we had a guy working with us at a company out of Minnesota once that picked up a lot lizard, had her handcuffed in the bunk of his truck. Somebody heard her screaming or something, and the truck stopped, and the cops gave chase. He ended up in the basement of some antique store in Pennsylvania.
With Zed?
And what happened to the guy?
Dummy.
Well, he's still in prison from what I hear. Nobody died, but, well, you know what turtles and hookers have in common, don't you?
Uh-oh. What do turtles and hookers have in common? Let's see. Can he stump us?
Wow, I don't even have a good answer.
I don't fucking know. What?
Well, when you're done playing with them, you just dump them both in the river.
Oh, brother. Must be a...
Kind of funny.
Must be a hoot on the road.
Kind of funny.
Oh, yeah. Well, I also wanted to say something. I remember the bread bag thing growing up in Minnesota, too, but I always remembered my mother...
Putting them over girls' heads.
Right.
That's right. Keep their face imprint in the Wonder Bread logo.
That's fucking dangerous.
Yeah, he is.
Watch it out, boys.
Yeah, all right.